What up? It's your boy Will Nichols, and today I'm going to be talking about the bare minimum man. Alright, the bare minimum man is the man who does the bare minimum at all times, and he gets bare minimum results as a result of that, right? So if you put in bare minimum at work, you get bare minimum compensation, right? Right? Maybe you're stuck at like a really low salary or not making much dollars an hour. That's the bare minimum worker. A bare minimum man, in his personal life, he's not achieving anything. He doesn't have a vision. And if he does, they're very small visions for himself. They're not huge visions for himself. So because of that, he expresses the bare minimum in all other aspects of life. Right? That means in sex, in relationship. In sex, he probably the bare minimum is orgasm, right? So that's the type of guy that just thinks about orgasm or just thinks about, can I come, and then when I'm coming or when I have orgasm, then it's over, it's done. I have served the bare minimum for myself because that's all that I want for myself. In relationship, he accepts and tolerates the bare minimum and he gives the bare minimum. So, if you give the bare minimum, there's not much you can accept, at the end of the day, because you receive what you're able to give, what you're able to offer. So how do we go from being a bare minimum man, because you don't want to be like that, and I know a lot of guys, I'm sure, you may be a bare minimum man, and you may be looking at this video and watching this video and saying, well, fuck, that's me. I've been bare minimum in everything in my life. And trust me, I've been there too, but how long are you going to tolerate that? How long are you going to tolerate being a bare minimum man? All right, so let me tell you about the maximum man. This is a man of God, okay? So for all intents and purposes, I will say man of God, but it is the maximum man. It is someone who is doing the most that he possibly can do because he knows that through fulfilling his vision and doing the most that he could possibly do in this moment to the best of his ability, that's all that can happen, right? That's all that can happen. There can be nothing more. The problem with being a bare minimum man is that your vision for what you desire to achieve is so big and so far away from what you truly believe you can achieve and experience. And because that gap is so huge, you don't give any extra effort whatsoever. You don't give any extra awareness to embracing that now. So when you have this idea in your mind that says, I'm only worthy of this bare minimum because that's what I'm going to give, and maybe I do have these big visions, or I have had these big visions in the past, but I'm just so far away from that what's the point? This is bare minimum thinking. Okay? So like I said, the bare minimum man, if you're a bare minimum man in one area, you're a bare minimum man in all areas, whether you're aware of it or not. Okay? So here's the thing. How do we get to the maximum man? How do we become a man of God? Okay, well, this is a process. This is a journey. This is not something that is, I become a man of God. However, I will say this. When you commit to becoming a man of God, and when you commit to God, and when you understand what God is to you, right? When you can have that self-search to understand what that means to you. Because what God means to me and what God means to you is probably going to be very different. But my experience of God that I have defined for myself, when I commit to that, and I commit to showing up for that essence of me every single day, and that means doing the maximum that I can and letting everything happen by doing the maximum that I can in this moment. So that means when an obstacle comes in the path, it becomes an opportunity. All right? Instead of the obstacle comes in the path, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm so far away from this goal, so I better not even try. Okay? When you have this approach to relationships, it becomes, oh my God, it becomes detrimental. And I can say that from personal experience because like I said, it's a process, meaning that it's a spiraling process so that you go through waves of light and waves of dark, waves of bringing up shit and waves of integrating, important things. And when you can learn to just ride those waves and become anchored in the awareness that you are a man of God, that you are someone who has committed to doing the most, to experiencing the most, to giving the most, as much as you possibly can. When we give, we receive. The receiving is the gift of giving. Okay, the gift of giving, receiving the gift of giving is the most amazing thing, especially being a masculine essence. Receiving the gift of giving is the way that the masculine receives. The gift of giving is the gift of the masculine, the gift of unconditional commitment and unconditional drive, okay? And that is the drive to always provide, the drive to always give, to provide the most, to give the most, to be the most, okay? And that is a process, that is a journey. So when you're at bare minimum, in order to get to maximum, you first have to decide, I need to get to maximum. You have to make that decision and commit to that decision. And then you have to look at what is keeping me here versus who is this over here. Because maximum man looks very different from your current situation if you're a minimum man. All right? A man of God looks very different from your situation. That's okay. Right? That's just, it is what it is. It's not good or bad. It's just, be aware of that. So you have to define who this guy is, because it's not you. Because if it was you, you'd be living that already, but it's not you. So you have to define who that is and embrace that in the moment. And that's the process, because everything around you tells you that you are a bare minimum man. Everything around you reaffirms that to you. And in many ways, that is your fault. That is what you have done to yourself. That's how you created your reality experience for yourself up until this point. Okay? So that being said, learning to become a man of God means committing to something bigger than yourself and committing to being a part of something bigger than yourself, and knowing that every experience that you have is you committing to something bigger than yourself. So when you're in relationship, you're giving everything because you are committing to something bigger than yourself. You're not a bare minimum half-assing man, running away from his problems, running away from the emotions, running away from intimacy, or drowning in it, Either way, these are two polarities on the same spectrum, right? So, and in sex, are you chasing that orgasm, being a minimum man, or are you being a man of God who is enjoying being able to give unconditionally in the moment and experience insatiable pleasure in the moment, not chasing this future moment, but experiencing divinity in the moment. All right? And in work, are you giving your all, or are you lazy? Are you putting everything off? Are you giving your wholeheartedness to the things that you are creating because you have this immense vision for yourself and it excites you and it fills you up with passion and drive and you're excited to go towards it? That's what becoming a maximum man is. That's what becoming a man of God is all about. It's about committing to something bigger than yourself, realizing your true potential, which is much bigger than you can fucking ever believe. Seriously. You don't understand how lucky you are to be on planet Earth. Nonetheless, be conscious on planet Earth. All right? So if that's you and you're becoming that, then make sure you begin the process of committing to becoming a man of God. All right, and that's exactly what my upcoming 6-month program is all about. So if you're a man who is ready to commit to God, you're a man who's ready to step into the best version of yourself, sexually, spiritually, and relationally, and experience what it means to be a conscious man, an awakened man, then send me a DM. DM me the word awakening to let me know that you're interested in that, and I can send you all the details for that. That's happening on October 28th. So become a man of God. And I understand we're not taught this shit, right? I had to figure it all out on my own, and I was lucky to have different mentors along the way, but still, to get the whole picture, I had to figure it out on my own. And in many regards, so will you, regardless. But the reason that I do the work that I do is because I want to help you get there quicker, okay? Because the fact is, when you become conscious, we all become more conscious. So when you become an awakened man of God, we all become a little bit more awakened. We all become a little bit more connected to our divinity. We are all one. We are all connected. So the work that you do is not just for you. It's for you, it's for the people around you, and it's for the entire collective. So this is why this work is so fucking important. All right? I love you guys. Thank you to all the men out there who are being men of God and who are stepping into their power and potential and seeing the greater vision for themselves and giving their all, giving their whole being in every interaction, understanding that every interaction is an expression, a meeting with God. Every relationship that you have is God dressed in drag, as Ram Dass says. And every interaction with nature allows you to connect back to yourself. So thank you to all the men out there that are doing the fucking work. And thank you to all the women out there who are supporting men and who are supporting men doing the work and who are supporting masculine men becoming more masculine, becoming rooted in their essence, becoming conscious lovers, becoming conscious leaders, because that's what we need more of. So I love you all. And if you're interested in joining the 6-month Awakening Man Mastermind, make sure you DM me saying Awakening.